I'm sure there's a lot of questions here about supply chain because this has been front and center in the media and front and center in our corporations. In fact, if you even want to take a step back, just give us a perspective on what is the state of global supply chain and how did we get to this point?
Well, obviously, COVID was a major impact of what took place. But, I start looking at it from a different point of view. I think that this was taking place even before that. Obviously, with the pandemic, it created this amazing demand in the U.S., which created this imbalance as far as getting containers and ships into the U.S. And we have no way right now of ensuring that we get those raw materials and that we can get product into the U.S. If you think about the port of Long Beach, which is one of our largest ports, there's around roughly 70 to 75 container ships just sitting idle out on the water because they can't get in because of the congestions that we're experiencing. But the preparation for it, thinking differently on how we think about metrics, I think would have actually prepared us a little bit better in our economy too.
Give us an example. What metrics shouldn't have existed that maybe would have?
If you take a look at supply chain, and if you think about those who are involved in that field, that vertical, we've looked at cost, right? But what I think that we weren't focused as much is on growth, right? Which, if you think about it, we should be very integrated with our organizations to ensure that we're providing growth. So that's starting to shift, which is really interesting if you think about the fact that in the past, we weren't, I hate to say this, at the table at times as a supply chain executive. Now we're starting to be at the table and we're making decisions which impact organizations, and we're doing this cross-functionally. We have to evolve, right? We have to get away from being a cost center to a growth center. And how do you do that? You have to make sure that you're aligned again with strategy. You have to make sure that you're addressing each touch point. You have to expand from an intellectual capacity to ensure that you understand what's going on globally and what's going on with the markets and what is demand going to look like in the future.